Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our another session giving some tips during this hard time when everyone is limited to get out and trying to spend their time in their home, that how Ayurveda can be beneficial and how Ayurveda can contribute to our physical, mental, and well-being. And today's subject actually is very, very appropriate because, as we all know, that we are sitting at home with the families and enjoying the moment. And during this time, one thing naturally comes up: let's cook something delicious and keep eating and enjoying it, which is very obvious and very good thing anyway. But at the same time, there was one person talking to me. He said, due to this lockdown, I can't look down. So I'm sure all of you must have understood what he was trying to tell me. And we don't want into that situation. And that is where Ayurveda comes up, that what is this digestive fire which Ayurveda always talk about, and what is this importance of this digestive fire or metabolism, and why it is such a big hype in Ayurveda, in fact, basically. But the thing is, now, when I used to practice 10, 15 years ago here even, and whenever we talk about that, the key is your metabolism, and people think, what is that? What are you talking about, the digestive fire? But now, as you all know, every system in the world, and even our mainstream medicine, our Western medicine, has talked and has started talking about that gut is your root cause of your all the problem, which Ayurveda has always shared with us. And then on that basis, people have started becoming more and more aware. But when people start becoming aware about their eating and try to identify that what we should eat, they have gone from one extreme to the other. And in that process of nutrition perspective, they have started looking at, okay, how many gram carbohydrate, how many gram of protein, and how many gram of fat I should have to keep myself in optimum state. And some have started just thinking that eat only salad and you can be in a much more good state, because they think that salad will be easy to digest and give us more and more nutrient and all the enzymes. And then some start thinking that, okay, let flush all what I do throughout the day. And in that process, they start drinking 3 liter and 4 liter of water. And their thought pattern is that because nothing to worry about, whatever I'm doing is all good. And in the same way, as you can see, there are nowadays hundreds of new diet which comes up on the name of nutrition, whether you talk about paleo diet or you talk about Atkinson diet or you talk about high protein diet or this and that. And now it has come up, the biggest one is the plant-based diet. As I always have said that, look, these things are all good. But problem is we get caught into this fancy world and then get away from the real topic, and never give any importance to that. And what is that important component? Ayurveda share with us very simple thing, that no matter whatever you are eating, no matter whatever you are eating, until or unless what you have eaten does not get metabolized in your body, it is not going to give you proper nourishment. Because if we understand from any sort of principles of science that food has to be metabolized, metabolized means get cooked, and get cooked means in your stomach. So who is cooking our food in the stomach? We call it as hydrochloric acid and enzyme. And now, on a simple level, for us to understand the cooking process, if we all know when we are trying to cook something, what we use? We use fire, our stove, gas stove, or whatever you will use it, and try to cook your food. And same process happen in our body. If whatever I have eaten has to get cooked further to make it more homologous for my body. Homologous means anything whatever I have eaten is actually foreign to my body. Until my bodily intelligence has made it more homologous, it will not give me any nutrient, any nourishment. And just again go back into your outside in your day-to-day life, when we are cooking, whatever we are cooking, your fire need to be in optimum state. If it is too hot, too much intense fire, it will overcook your food. If it is too less, it will take a lot of time to cook and food will not get cooked properly. So that is where same situation happen in our body. So when you are eating, if your secretions of your hydrochloric acid and enzyme is not in optimum state, has not secreted at a right time and in right amount, we are in trouble. And this is the focus of Ayurveda from very beginning, 5,000 years ago. They have given us this clear understanding that nutrition is the key part. But in that nutrition, your digestive fire is responsible. How you want to keep that in optimum state, that is in your hand. So how we actually can keep my digestive fire in optimum state, I will share with you very simple language and in a small short span, because it's such a vast subject. I can speak even in a one stretch for 2-3 days and that subject will not finish. But we will keep it simple component and try to make it simple and interesting so that we can all understand. So what happened that when you are eating, first important part is you need to know what is compatible to you and what is incompatible to you. Now how I can find out? That is where Ayurvedic one principle comes up, that each individual has a unique body makeup. So once you know, when we say body makeup means, what that mean is, this is what we call as your body type, which is given to all of us at our birth time through our parents. And once you know what body makeup you are, then you are able to identify what is compatible for me and what is incompatible for me. So that food will then help you to get metabolized in your system, because each one of us, our digestive fire strength can vary, and that is governed by three bodily intelligence which are core component of Ayurveda. We call them as doshas, or you can say bodily intelligence, biological humors. That is what we talk about. And according to that, each body's means each body type person's digestive fire will be variable based on their constitution, that what they can eat, what will be metabolizing properly with them, or what will not metabolize properly with them. So that's one aspect we talk about. And then second thing, considerations comes up, your surroundings. That surroundings means your season, what you're selecting, the timing of your eating also play in a role. Now, just look at certain factors and how you are eating, that also get affected. What kind of combination you are selecting, that also get affected. So all those things will impact your Agni. And Agni, which is responsible for keeping us in optimum state, providing us right nutrient, if we abuse it, it will be losing that barrier, that defense line for our total well-being, and let all and more toxins get formed in our system. And that is where the base is of all the disease. We call them as simple toxin, but if we want to go more into deeper, that free radical substances, how they get formed, how they go around your cells and tissues, and that's where your all the immune system start getting affected. So that's how we have to understand on a simple digestive fire principle. Now someone might ask, okay, hang on, if I'm eating 3 meals, then what isn't a big deal? You're talking about that my digestive fire can get affected. Digestive fire will always get affected if you are not selecting right kind of food on a regular basis. And this is what we talk about is a 21 meal plan. 21 meal. Why I'm making 21 meal? Because we are talking about 1 week, and in week we have 3 main meals: breakfast, lunch and dinner. And if you multiply by 7, 21 meals. Now based on that, if you are selecting certain such thing which can impact on your Agni, and you keep doing this, one stage will come up that Agni will give up. Give up means it will start getting affected, it will not digest your food properly, and you will be ending up into more trouble. So that is the first aspect for us to talk about. Now question comes up, the selection of your food. So selection of the food again has to go according to your constitution, but someone can definitely ask me, if I don't know my constitution, do you think that I'm not in a position to live healthy? I'm not going to say that. Everyone can live healthy, but you will have more better chances to avoid the diseases coming to you if you understand your constitution. That is the basic part. And there is no if and but. If you're living with that awareness, you have a better ability to live in a much more balance, and you will not require so much worries to go around if you follow that principle. Then the second thing comes up, okay, what kind of food you can say that we should be not eating at all? Again, look at our lifestyle, the way the things has gone in our present days, hectic lifestyle, busy lifestyle. So much convenience has come up around us, and in that, what we look at, fast food is one of the biggest thing. Processed food is one major aspect, has become a major component in our life, and most of us always will try to do those kind of things. There are so many principles in nutrition, in Ayurvedic nutrition, that we have to talk about, but I'm trying to keep it more and more simple. That's where I'm struggling, that how I keep it in simple language so that I can give you something to talk about and not make you freak out that, oh my goodness, I can't follow Ayurveda, right? It must be something that I have to go to Himalaya to live and then follow. No, you can still live in Auckland, no matter whatever suburb you're living, you can still enjoy your food as long as you follow certain principles. And then comes up one major thing. Let me first talk about in a simple range of the food which one should try to keep away from them. Your bread is your biggest culprit nowadays. Now, this is where again I will see many people will start getting a bit upset. Hang on, bread is our staple food. How you can make it in a statement that bread is bad? If you want to understand that, very simple. What is wrong in the bread? It is not about the grain. It's all about yeast. And then the commercial bread which we get in all our um, supermarket, they come up with a lot of emulsifiers. Emulsifiers means to enhance the shelf life. And that fermented component, when wheat mix with the yeast, it becomes the most difficult component for our body to break down. And then that when it is not digesting properly, it will start sitting in the intestinal villi. Intestinal villi is in a kind of our uh, grinder, you can say, the outside grinder. The same as we have in our gut. We call them our intestinal villi, which will help us in the assimilation and absorption of our food. So bread is your biggest culprit. Then you look at your cheese, the hard cheese, especially the yellow cheese. Now someone will say, okay, hang on, you're taking away my pizza, you're taking my burgers away. Yes, I'm taking away, but I'm not taking away that you cannot eat them in your daily sort of enjoyable life. So make it once a week or maybe once a fortnight, depending upon how your state of Agni is. That is where the key part will come up. You always have to keep an eye on that, how my state of Agni is. And when your Agni is in an optimum state, you can have these things for a while and then try to. But look at the way lifestyle is nowadays. Pizzas, burgers are actually staple food in our life. Then you look at the chips, fish and chips, corn chips or organic chips or crisp, all kind of things. Now someone will say, okay, hang on, my chips are organic. What's the problem with you? Why you're taking those things away? Hang on, it's not about organic. It's not about super organic. It's about what is the quality of the food what you're eating. If you're eating those chips all the time, they are loaded with salt, they're oily, and that's how they cause more and more problem to you. And then peanut butter is another big thing. Then tomato sauce, tin tomato. Now again, this is one of the common thing which you will find in every household. We normally, tomatoes are good for you. You can use them in your cooking. They help in the digestion process because they are sour component. And then according to again different season, their proportion will be advised by an Ayurvedic practitioner to you. But look what we do. We don't try to get into too much of fresh tomatoes because of the convenience. We will go and buy in a tin tomatoes a jar. Someone, if they are a little bit more aware, what they will do, rather than buying normal one, they go and buy the organic tomato sauce, tin tomatoes. But tin tomato means tin tomato because tin tomatoes become very acidic, concentrated, and they become a stale food, dead food we talk about, which will cause complication in your gut. Then peanut butter is there, almond butter is there. Then you look at all the smoothies. Now, that is what you call in Ayurveda incompatible combination. Incompatible combination is yogurt and fruit, milk and fruit. These are the things which you are combining together. And that food will confuse your digestive fire, confuse your bodily intelligence, confuse the secretions of your hydrochloric acid and enzymes at the right time and the right amount. So, because for each of the substance, whether it's your protein, whether it's your carbohydrate, whether it's your fat, the secretions has to be appropriate. So that's where the whole problem start happening. And then look at all these issues of carbonated drink. Now many time nowadays that has become a household item with all of us, that when we are eating, we always will have wonderful drinks beside us, and we keep drinking those juice or whatever you have, those kind of things when we are eating. But principle is, when you are eating, you should not be drinking. Very simple reason, because you are diluting your enzymes, you are diluting the hydrochloric acid, which is responsible to do the digestion for you. And that's where the issues come there. And then comes up the microwave part. As you can see, majority of us nowadays cook our food in microwave. If you are not cooking, at least then heating is a very common sort of thing. So all those things add to the problems with us. Then cereals are another issues with us. Now, if all these things are dominant part of my 21 meals, we will be ending up into more and more problems. Then you look at the seasonal consideration, if I have to give you a little bit more into that. Now, when we are in a winter season is now cold and damp and moist. So in that time, you should not be eating that sort of food, but look at what we normally eat. Ice cream is a common thing, yogurt is a common thing, again your bread, cheese and other things, irrespective of that, we have them dominance in our life. And then the extreme will come up. Now I'm just going to give you two extremes also to talk about. Someone, when they come in the clinic and we try to look at their digestive state, and when we found that they are not in a good state and body is producing more and more toxin, and when we look at when I'm taking their case history, they will say, okay, look, I eat organic salad at lunchtime, and dinner also has a lot of salad. I love salad. Perfectly fine. But when I say salad is your biggest enemy in the life, and then they say, hang on, what are you saying? Why you are taking that salad away? Very simple. Now, what is salad? Just try to understand. Salad is green. And now when greens are uncooked, and I already shared that whatever you are eating, no matter how good, how balanced food you have eaten, that food need to get metabolized before it give you nutrient. And now if your metabolism, if your digestive fire is compromised, that salad which you have eaten will not metabolize, because uncooked food will require more effort to get cooked. That is why whenever someone's body is producing some toxins, and we have identified that body is producing some toxins, we first thing we ask them, try to eat something warm and cooked. If you can chant this mantra, warm and cooked, you will be in a good state. And then later on we can tell you what you should eat, what you should not eat. So salad is the biggest part which most of the people eat. And then they try to look at, okay, I'm eating healthy food all the time. And that's where they always feel that why, in spite of eating this salad, I always have a digestion problem, I always have a constipation, I always have a lot of gas and gurglings coming up. Basically, when you tell them that this is the root cause of the problem, and then a lot of people will come, they will say that, okay, I drink sparkly water, I don't drink my tap water because I don't know what is coming up in the tap. So I use my double filtered sparkly water. That is another issue with from Ayurvedic perspective, because what is sparkly water is gas component, and that gas component create more complication in your gut if you're drinking all the time that. So that's where you should be drinking only plain water, still water, but must try to do it more warm water. That will be helpful. So that's the few things to talk about. Now another very important aspect to look at. Many of us always will say that, look, I'm drinking 3 liters of water. And when I ask why you're drinking 3 liters of water, because it will help to flush my toxins out. And then I said, that is good. So it means you should be in a very optimum health. And then the person will say, oh no, not really, because I'm all the time feeling quite fatigued, tired, my back is always sore, and I have to go to a lot of toilet. I'm becoming quite cranky, angry. So I said, if I now, should I tell you why that is the case? And they say, yes. And I, can you just promise that you will follow if I explain you and make sense to you? They say, yes, I will follow it. I said, the thing which I'm going to tell you, you should not be drinking more than 1.5 liter water in a day. And they say, oh, wow, what is that? Why you are telling me? I said, look, let's have a discussion on that. And when I tell them that what you are actually doing, you are inviting the problem. So you have been told to drink water for the sake of drinking water. So now just see, when you drink water, where the water is going. Water is coming in your stomach. And what is the role of the stomach? Stomach is there to digest the food. Stomach is your first place where the first stage of digestion starts. And now we already have discussed that who is responsible to do the digestion? Your fire. your digestive fire in the form of hydrochloric acid and the enzymes. And now just think outside again. If you have a fire in your house or in your anywhere and it is getting out of control, what you think at a first instance to get it under control? And the person will say, yes, I will always look towards the water. That is the same situation. Now, when you are having water all the time, what you are doing? You are putting your fire off in the stomach in the form of your hydrochloric acids and enzymes. So when you have put your fire off, then two things will happen. A, you won't feel that hungry anyway, but because in your think, okay, it's lunchtime, it's my other time, so you have to eat. So when you are eating your food, and because you are eating with so much awareness, you must have selected a wonderful amount of good food, organic food. But when you have eaten that food will not metabolize properly. So when it is not digested properly in the first stage of digestion, and then when it goes to the second stage of digestion, which is in the small intestine, and then what happens? This is a natural law of the body. The raw material of the first stage is actually coming to the second stage, but if it is not in an optimum amount or optimum state, the enzymes which are getting secreted in the second stage of the gut, which is small intestine, will not act on that. So further assimilation and absorption will not happen properly. So what will happen? End result, you will get more waste and less nutrient. Now, when we say nutrient, what does that mean? Whatever you have eaten is actually to nourish your body. When I say body, means your existing body. Existing body is made of tissues. That is what we call as your cells, tissues. They require nourishment. They require food all the time. And that food is what you are eating for, and that give you energy, that give you strength, that keep you going for your uh, day-to-day's work, physical, mental, all that kind of things you do, activities, that is coming from the food energy. That is what your energies are. So when that food is coming, means that nutrients are coming to you, they are in the less amount. So less amount means when you have your whole bodily tissues to be nourished, the supply is less. So supply is less means they will get less nourishment, less food. So just presume now, when someone is hungry, what will they do? They ask for more food. Same is our bodily tissue does. So what they do is they give the message to the brain that I need more food, and brain pass on a message to the tongue, because that is the pathway of food to go, and your tongue is the first step to perceive that message and signal. So what will happen? Tongue will give us that my tongue is becoming more dry. So that's a message for my body that hang on, I'm not feeling good, I'm feeling depleted, give me nourishment. But my intelligence will think, oh, my mouth is getting dry, it means I need to have more water. So I keep drinking more water. So that way, the vicious cycle of diluting your enzyme, diluting your hydrochloric acid keep happening. And when you are not having proper nourishment, what will happen? You will always feel fatigued, tired, irritable, lack of energy, lack of concentration, sleep will not be good. And the person will say, oh yes, that is what's happening with me. And I said, no, I'm not finished yet. Let me tell you another thing. Now, this machine, which is made by that creator, not by man-made or China-made or an India-made, this model is made somewhere in that creator's lab, which does not do any sort of mistake, because they look into the finer details. So what is the finer detail? When your bodily intelligence, each body's intelligence know how much water you require in this body, and that requirement varies according to the each season, and your bodily intelligence will adjust that requirement on its own. You don't need to take any switch up and down in the each season or any day or night kind of scenario. So when your bodily intelligence know how much water I need, but my corrupt intelligence is having a lot of water, then that manufacturing done by that creator has given us already something to handle it, because that creator know that this human body is human intelligence try to become over smart and will do something wrong at some stage in life anyway. So in relation to this episode of drinking too much water, they know that they can drink too much water sometime and something will happen with them. That's why they have kept in our body a specific system and specific organ who will keep that water metabolism intact in each one's body as per the requirement. And those organs are known as your kidneys. So now when I have taken too much water and my kidneys now start doing extra work, without getting angry, without getting upset, they start doing that because they are there to help us to keep ourselves in balance as much as they can. But when they are overworking, what will happen? Two things happen. Kidney's role is to expel the water extra, what is not required, and also expel the waste which is getting formed during the metabolism process. So what happened? That person who has taken 3 liters of water, he or she is all the time in the toilet, all the time passing water. And now when I let keep this our kidneys to overwork, because kidney directly relate with the adrenal glands directly relate with our immune strength, and that's where you will always see that when your kidneys start getting over function, over exhausted, you have an adrenal exhaustion. This is what we call as adrenal fatigue syndrome nowadays. That is how we kill ourselves. And these all things are happening just with that ignorance that I don't keep an eye on my digestive fire. I don't make the right choices. Because in Ayurveda, even though not in Ayurveda, nowadays every one of us know that we are what we eat. But Ayurveda give you a one more step to look at. Ayurveda tell you that how you can make your each meal as medicine. So food as medicine is our another goal to talk about, which we look at in a much more different way, which I will be explaining in another webinar in our college platform. So that is what the part comes up for us to keep our digestive fire in optimum state. So now outcome, someone can ask, okay, hang on, you have talked too much, let me know how I can improve my Agni. Answer is very simple. Keep it simple, that first of all, try to eat with awareness. Try to eat keeping an eye that as long as you are able to eat something warm and cooked and not go much into processed food, try to still enjoy everything, but in a way that it does not cause you a lot of problem. So to clean your system first, to bring your Agni in an optimum state, what you can do, you can use certain kitchen herbs even in your home, and then try to work out rather than getting into something. So what kind of kitchen herbs? Every one of us must make an effort to use ginger, garlic, onion in the cooking, because these all 3 herbs are known as best for burning the ama. Ama means burning the toxin when the food is metabolizing. So that's one thing is there. Then some of the kitchen herbs are very best, known as turmeric, cumin, coriander, cinnamon. Now, because it becomes very difficult for normal individual to know how much I should use these proportion and how many of these herbs you are talking about, how I know how much you use. For that, at Planet, 25 years ago, I invented what we call as our seasonal spices, seasonal mix. They are for winter, autumn, summer. They are specific mix of 16 herbs in specific proportion, and that's what I share with my client, that look, this is what you can use. Easy to use, is compatible to each constitution, but they are made according to the season, so they help in metabolizing. They help to keep the toxins out from your system. So that's what you can use. If you are cooking for say 3 people, 1 teaspoon of that will be sufficient for you to use. At least 1 meal a day, if you can make it an effort, it will help. Another thing you can do just to improve your Agni, that at least 1 meal a day you must, whenever you have in a one dish, try to squeeze lemon, fresh coriander, and quarter teaspoon Himalayan salt or black salt we talk about in Ayurveda. That will help in assimilation and absorption of your food. So that will be very helpful. Try to drink 1.5 liter. Now there are special kind of detox comes up in Ayurveda, and those you can drink according to the season. In the coming this at the moment we are in autumn and coming to the winter, there is one detox known as autumn and winter detox, that you can add 1 tablespoon in 750 ml of water and drink throughout the day, at least even one time of that 1 tablespoon in a one bottle. That will help you to take a lot of people who have gas issues or indigestion issues or burping and other things comes up, or even the constipation. For them that will be quite helpful. And if someone having a more complications, they can always consult at our clinic to talk about more. Or otherwise, if you want to look at some products, you can go online, and there are certain specific products which relate with the digestive fire improvement part, or to improve your Agni state. Those are known as, one is known as Agni tone. You can take 1 capsule one morning and one night. That will be very helpful. But look, this is not my purpose here to sell the product or talk about those, but I just gave you some idea that if you can work and live with a bit more awareness, that will help you a lot. And that's what the whole purpose of our this understanding of talking about a few things. If you will have any question, don't hesitate to put it on our post and I will answer them, and or otherwise email me. And thanks everyone. Enjoy the rest of the time, and when you are coming up to now this level 3, I hope we all will be still trying to do our best to keep ourselves safe and keep our families safe. Thanks everyone.